Well, our first guest joins us in studio. Christopher Batista is the CEO of Thinspace Technology Incorporated. Thinspace Technology stock symbols THNS. Chris, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Don. Thanks for having me.
Now, the company describes itself as a global provider of reliable, scalable, and affordable application delivery, virtualization, and cloud client technology to companies of all kinds of different sizes. Can you give us a general overview of what you do?
All right. So I have 3 small children, and I try to explain to them what I do, and also to my mom who doesn't understand technology. So basically what we do in a nutshell is we are a hardware and software company that provides computing capability to our customers.
Now, I think you're doing this with cloud technology,
That's
if
right.
I remember correctly. A lot of people are hearing about cloud technology. They're getting it on their smartphones.
Right.
Maybe not everyone understands exactly
Okay.
what it is. Give us a layman's description.
Yeah, so Don, you use a Mac or
Right.
PC.
I use a Mac.
So you use your applications on your Mac.
Right.
What we do is we put those applications into a shared pool of resources. So it's separate from your Mac, and it's delivered to your PC. So you can think of it as a utility company, like your power company or your water company. So the computing power is actually delivered from a different source to you.
Well, it kind of reminds me of like applications on the internet, like say Facebook or YouTube. You don't actually have that software that they use on your computer, so it's kind of the same cloud delivery, so to speak.
Right, we provide the software that connects the endpoint to the cloud.
So you're able to provide for your clients a host of application and delivery software using the cloud. They don't have to have this software on their computers per se.
Yeah, there's one way to do that. Yeah, we can use the web, for example. That's the lowest common denominator. Everyone can access the web. So if you had a file on your desktop computer and you were somewhere else and you needed to gain access to it, you can use your iPhone or your iPad and actually access your desktop that's in your office through our technology.
And so this works with desktop PCs, with mobile applications, smartphones running around. All of this can work with your cloud technology.
That's right.
Now, you just took over as CEO. Congratulations.
Thank
a few
you.
months ago. I know you've been very busy getting yourself assimilated to the company and everything else. After this short period of time, what about the company has impressed you the most?
So what impresses me is that they're a global company. For a small company of our size, we have a big global presence, and I think that's pretty interesting. We have customers all over the world, and we have partners and operations throughout the world. One thing that also impressed me is the technology that they have. It's very easy to use and easy to understand. So I think desktop virtualization is a very complex world, and what we've been able to do is simplify that.
It's a good point that I wanted to bring up, that when you bring on a new client, there's not a tremendous learning curve that they have to go through to use your services, correct?
That's right. This world has several moving parts to it. What we try to do is provide an end-to-end platform so that they only need to come to us to enable desktop virtualization.
Now, the company recently announced that you had joined Amazon's global web services partner program.
Right.
What are your company expectations from that deal?
Well, I mean, this is great news for us because, as you know, Amazon has been a game changer in the way e-commerce and retail has been done. Now they're getting into cloud services and they're providing, on-demand technology. And as we are a technology partner of theirs, so our technology can reach, the Amazon marketplace, the Amazon customers. So it's great visibility for us.
Now, you mentioned the company being all over the world. You were just in Germany.
Right.
And you were the keynote speaker at the Virtualization, Data Security, and Privacy Conference.
Right.
Share that experience with us.
Yeah, so earlier this summer I was talking to Darmstadt University, to their faculty, and we had a meeting about desktop virtualization. And one of the members asked me, would I mind being a keynote speaker for their conference this past September? And I was actually pretty humbled and flattered by that. And so I came over a few months later. I don't speak German, so it was kind of intimidating. So I was introduced by the president of the university in German, and I looked at the audience and I think they were all German speaking. So I delivered my keynote in English, and it was about 20 minutes or so, and I wasn't sure if they understood. But at the end of my talk, I had about 20 minutes of questions in English. So it was actually pretty good that they followed me and they were asking me very good questions. The rest of the conference was in German, so I sat through the rest of the day listening to German presentations. And then at the end of the day, a fellow came up to me and said, "Oh, I really, really liked your talk." I said, "Oh, that's good." And it turns out this guy was Dutch, and he didn't speak he didn't speak German either, so I think mine was the only one he did understand. But
Well, it's kind of interesting because I think the international language of business has become English over the last couple decades or so.
Right.
Tell us why this is a good time right now for people to take a closer look at Thinspace technology.
Okay, so for the fundamental investors, I think where this technology is, Gartner has this hype cycle curve. It starts at the bottom, it peaks up to the top, and then it dips down and slowly rises again. So where this technology is we've gone through that iteration. We've hit this peak of, they call it the peak of inflated expectations. Mm-hmm. It's dipped down into this trough of disillusionment. And I think right now we're at this segment where it's the slope of enlightenment. So this is a good time for investors to get into this. This technology is increasing. For the technical investors, if they look at our performance from last year to this year, they'll see that we've grown tremendously.
Again, the company is Thinspace Technology. THNS is their stock symbol. Of course, we've initiated coverage of the company. We're going to be following you very closely between now and going into 2015, looking for a series of updates from you during that period of time. But thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks, Don.